Good morning. This is a Sunday School lesson for December 27th, 2020. I call it The Beginning. It's the lectionary readings for today. I actually took one of the lectionary readings for Christmas Day, I think it was. There's Psalm 98, Isaiah 52, 7 through 10, John 1, 1 through 14, Hebrews 1, 1 through 14, and 5 through 12. So let's read John 1, 1 through 18. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by Him. Without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was life, and this life was the light of all persons. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. There was a guy who was sent from God. This guy's name was John. The same guy came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all people through him, the light, might believe. John was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light that lights every person that comes into the world. This light was in the world, and the world was made by Him, and the world knew Him not. He came into His own, and His own received Him not. But as many as received Him, this light, to them He gave the power to become the children of God, the heirs of God, even to every person that believes on the name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of persons, but of the will of God. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bare witness of Him and cried, saying, This was He of whom I spake. He that comes after me is preferred before me, for He was before me. And of His fullness have we all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Jesus Christ. No man has seen God at any time. The only begotten of the Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, He hath declared Him. Today's passage is both one of the simple, easy to understand, and one of the more fearsome passages in the lectionary. It's simple, because it's written in the language of John the Apostle. He wrote simply. He used easily understandable words. The passage touches on the basics of Christian cosmology. I, being neither a scholar nor a well-versed theologian, will not delve deeply into that. However, you can't not but delve a little bit. However, the passage is meant to be understood on any level, and no matter what your background, belief system, or attitude, it can speak to you on your level. The passage starts in the beginning. Before the beginning, the most often word used is chaos. Chaos is, to you and me, anything we don't understand. What's chaos to me might not be chaos to you if you have different understanding than I have, and vice versa, of course. Before the beginning, there was nothing either of us could understand. There is nothing anybody could understand. Official church dogmas, for those people who use them, sometimes stipulate that there was nothing before the beginning, but nothing. That really only means those people refuse to believe anything they can't understand. But I oversimplify. Indeed, modern physicist cosmology talks about the Big Bang. There was something, we can't describe it, or there was something, nothing we can't describe, and then all of a sudden there was something else. But not even that made sense. But lo and behold, the present universe happened from that mess. Mind you, my words aren't what a good physicist would say, but I'm not a good physicist, so I hope it's okay. What does John say about this moment when something indescribable becomes something we at least have words for? John says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. Word is as good a translation as any of the Greek logos. A word is something that may be spoken, written, heard, or just thought. John implies that the word thought or spoke or wrote itself. If you say something like, "That's ridiculous," which I misspelled, a word can't say itself, I'd reply two things, at least. First, we're talking about divinity, and if we understood it completely, it might not be divine. The other is, just look at M.C. Escher artwork. Now that's a man who could make the impossible graphically real. It's kind of like those Zen koans, one hand clapping, trees falling in a forest. Can anybody hear it? Is Schrodinger's cat really going to scratch you when you open that box? John does not exactly answer those questions, but says that all these situations come from this word, the Logos. And there is nothing, and here's the nothingness loved by medieval theologians. Without this word, nothing is that is. Now, I love pondering the imponderable. It makes me feel like Lewis Carroll's Red Queen in Through the Looking Glass. When I was younger, I always did it for half an hour a day. Why, sometimes I believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. Now, John progresses from word and non-being to darkness and light, and starts talking about the word as a person, not a thing, and a slightly separate concept than the God word. Word of God is what we generally say. Light, which is also life, we think of heat as a form of life and light. We need a specific amount of that to even be alive. Light is innate in this Word of God. The word comprehend, back in the 70s when I studied Greek, I learned could just as well have been translated as overcome. So darkness is at least not greater than light. In our physical universe, light is definitely stronger. The light of one candle reaches to the ends of the universe. It's weaker than you or I could perceive if we were standing on the edge of the universe, which there is really no such thing, but we're talking about imponderables, aren't we? But this light would still be there. And he introduces John the Baptist. John the Apostle just called him John. John the Apostle claims that John the Baptist, his purpose is to bear witness to the Word. It's after this passage that it's still in 18, that the Word refers to Jesus. John's not the light, but reflects the light, so to speak, though that's not what the passage says. The Word was in the world, having created it. The world was separated from him. The world did not recognize the Word. But part of the world did recognize the light and became children of God. Let me reread this passage again. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all persons through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lights every person that comes into the world. This light was in the world, and the world was made by that light, but the world did not know the light. The light came into his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bare witness of him, and cried, saying, This was he of whom I spake. He that comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And of his fullness have we all received grace upon grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Jesus Christ. No man has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. So that's it. Have a good week. Bye.